to yourself. Raise it all the way down. Back it up.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. The program will begin shortly. Please take your seats.
All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for taking your seats now. We'll get the program started here. I want to officially welcome you to the Denver Health and Denver Health Foundation's annual Paramedics Awards Celebration. We're thrilled to have everyone here in person, enjoying a meal together and celebrating the Denver Health Paramedic Division and the hundreds of team members who work so hard for the residents of Denver. I'm Nicole Brady, morning anchor at Denver 7. You may notice in your program that that Ann Trujillo, our evening anchor, was supposed to be here today, but unfortunately Ann lost her voice. So she really couldn't do this and regrets it, but I was so happy to be asked to come in her place, and I hope I can serve as a good substitute for her. If you find your tables here, continue to get settled, and we're going to begin our celebration today with the Denver Police Department Pipes and Drums and the Denver Police Department Honor Guard as they present our colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star spangled banner yet wave?
Thank you to the Beverly Bells for that beautiful rendition. Now please stand if you're able and join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to introduce Chaplain Dirk Vandervorst to give today's invocation.
It's an honor for me to bring a prayer of blessing for our occasion today. Join me in an invocational prayer. Lord God, we come together today to give thanks, show appreciation, and gratitude for all that has been accomplished by the Denver Health Paramedic Division and by all those who support them. We give thanks for their dedicated work and in service to others. Honor, O God, the compassionate service each one gives. Strengthen and bless all the collaboration and cooperation efforts as we seek to work for the common good and the improvement of the Denver community. To each person, give strength to their personal faith, vision, and calling, which gives meaning to life and informs us of what matters most: love of self, love of our family, love of neighbor, and of you, the source and sustainer of life. Fill us with your grace. May we cherish the unity and mission that binds us together. Bless also this food and our time together, and above all we pray, may there be compassion, peace, and healing in our world, and let it begin with me. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. You can all take your seats now. We will start the lunch service and take about a 20-minute break, and then continue our program to honor the men and women of the Denver Health Paramedic Division. Thank you.
Bye.
understand. Oh. Don't hold back if it feels good to have. Don't hold back. Don't hold back if it feels good. Don't hold back. for less. Don't be a drag, participate. Clamps on the half shell and roller skates, roller skates. Good times. These are the good times. Leave your cares behind. These are the good times. Good times. These are the good times. Our new state of mind. These are the good times. Good times.
Well, I hope everyone's enjoying their lunch. You can continue to eat while we get our program underway. Today we gather to celebrate and salute the outstanding work done by the extraordinary men and women of the Denver Health Paramedic Division. The Paramedic Division is the sole provider of emergency medical services for the city and county of Denver, and also provides services to the cities of Sheridan, Glendale, and Inglewood, and the Skyline Fire Protection District. Their mission is to provide professional, clinically excellent pre-hospital care to every patient with compassion, skill, and integrity. The division responds to over 128,000 calls every year, and more than 80,000 patients a year are treated and transported by Denver Health Paramedics. The amount of support in this room today lets us know how valuable they are to our community. The paramedics also work closely with several key partners, including the Denver Police Department, Fire Department, and Denver Sheriff. Without these essential relationships, the paramedics would not be as successful as they are. And so we want to acknowledge and recognize today Chief of Police Paul Pazin, Sheriff Elias Diggins, and Councilwoman Amanda Sandoval, as well as Denver Mayor Michael Hancock, who will be speaking here in just a few moments. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate the Denver Health Paramedics. And we want to acknowledge our sponsors today who made this event possible. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, Dependable Cleaners, our media sponsor, Denver 7. Thank you to our frontline sponsor, the Christian P. Anschutz Foundation. And we'd like to acknowledge our Guardian and First Responder sponsors who are listed in your program. Again, incredibly grateful for their support getting us here today. There are also a number of individuals who made today's celebration possible. Our event co-chairs are Denver Health Foundation's board chair, Josh Hanfling, and Dependable Cleaners owner, Stephen Toltz. And thank you so much to our Paramedic Event and Award Committee for all the work they put into today. Finally, we want to express gratitude to the Denver community members who pledged their support as champions of the Denver Health Paramedics. They are Rose Andom, Pam and Richard Bard, Colin and Jessica Barclay, Sheriff Elias Diggins, Brooke and Tom Gordon, and Steve Rosedale, Evie and Evan Makowski, Dr. Kevin McVaney, Dick Monfort, MJ and Paul Powers, and Dr. Dean Prina. So thank you to all of you for your incredible support and leadership in our community. Today's event happens to coincide with what is nationally recognized as Emergency Medical Services Week. The residents and the city and county of Denver join in this recognition of Denver Health Paramedics' heroic and selfless work through Denver Mayor Michael Hancock's proclamation that today, May 10th, will be officially known as Denver Health Paramedics Day. So thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to introduce Mayor Michael B. Hancock to say a few words here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and thank you for acknowledging the proclamation. Therefore, I don't have to stand here and read it. Don't you hate that when they stand there and read the whole proclamation? I don't think I've done it one time as mayor, at least go to the last line. And so congratulations to our paramedics. I am really honored to be here this afternoon. And let me just acknowledge and congratulate my friend Crystal Rivera, who became the new CEO of this foundation. Very excited for you. Very excited for you. And the foundation, and of course, Dr. Wittenstein, that runs the best public health hospital in the country. And everybody at Denver Health for their tremendous work. You know, this is a moment as we all work to recover from the pandemic that we get the opportunity to pause and to acknowledge and celebrate everyone who showed up to make a difference during this most unusual and unprecedented time, at least for, the last 10, 12 generations of society. There's not a person here in this room or across the community who doesn't recognize the enormity of the challenges all our paramedics and our first responders and medical professionals faced over the last 2 years. We all remember the days during the pandemic where we would have that 8 o'clock celebration because this pandemic pushed our healthcare system to the brink. And it was held up on the shoulders of the men and women that this luncheon is celebrating today. There are no words, no thank yous big enough to truly express the magnitude of the gratitude we have for our paramedics, our medical professionals, our firefighters, our police officers, our sheriffs, all the men and women who are on the front lines when others are moving back or moving forward. We needed you the most, and you were there. When people were home, you were on the job. When people needed help, you answered the call. In some of our darkest times, you were our measure of perseverance and fortitude. We all know and recognize that the strain that was on our system was immense, and the toll is taken on many of you. But yet, you still show up. And the fact that we are here today, together once again, not in front of some television screen or teleprompter, but we're here to honor you, our colleagues, is a testament to your resolve. And so this was not planned, but I think it is apropos. Today, Chief Gary, if you come up here, I don't say your last name because you spell it with a B, but yet you pronounce it like a P. On behalf of the people of this city, our grateful city and county, I want to present our city's highest honor to the Paramedics Division of Denver Health, the city gold coin. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for everything you did. Thank you all. Godspeed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Hancock. In addition to the City of Denver, Denver Health is fortunate to have had outstanding leadership and consistent leadership for many years now. So I'd like to introduce Denver Health CEO, Dr. Robin Wittenstein, who has been at the helm since 2017. Welcome to the stage.
Thank you. So it's always hard to follow Mayor Hancock whenever he speaks, but I'm here to say thank you. Thank you to our paramedics who have done an amazing job during the course of the last 2 years and have, as Mayor Hancock said, shown up every single day. But I'm also here to say thank you to all of the others who were part of this, to our colleagues and supporters in the police department, Chief Pazin and all of the police officers, to Sheriff Diggs and all of the sheriffs who work so closely with us, and to Chief Fulton and the fire department. But even beyond that, when you look at the folks who are in front of us in uniform, they really and truly are all the same people. They are doing what they do because they want to be there for their friends, their neighbors, their families, for every member of the community. And every person who works for Denver Health feels the same way. But we couldn't do what we do if we didn't have the support of the community and the people around us. The honking and the cheers that went on at 8 o'clock during the worst days of the pandemic were amazing, but so were all of the people who reached out, who delivered food, who sent cards, and just thanked the healthcare workers at Denver Health and across the city who were there every single day to try to help us all through what I hope is a once-in-a-lifetime experience for all of us. And so I want to say thank you. The work that goes on in the streets of Denver every single day, taking care of people and their absolute worst moments, is amazing. And I will add, every year I say this, I hope none of you have experience with the Denver Health Paramedics. I hope you never will have experience with the Denver Health Paramedics. But I will tell you from personal experience, if you are in a situation where something has happened to you or a loved one or someone that you just walk down the street and you see, and you don't know what to do, and you call 911, and our emergency response system in the city of Denver responds, I can tell you that when a Denver Health paramedic pulls up and you see the person in the uniform, all of a sudden you know that there's somebody there who knows exactly what to do and is going to be able to take care of whatever needs to get done. And that is a feeling that you can't understand until you experience it. And having experienced it, I want to add my personal thanks, because it means the world to know that when you need help and you call, help is there. So thank you so much to all of our paramedics for everything you do, and thank you to all of our colleagues who are also first responders who make it possible for us to do what we do. So thank you so much.
Really big so I could read it. So yes, I've been here at Denver Health for 24 years. I've been in EMS for almost 30 years. And I'm honored to have served as the chief paramedic for the past 6 years. And I'm incredibly proud of the amazing work our people do every day. Today, you're going to hear stories of some of our people that have gone above and beyond. You'll also hear some of the incredible stories from others that stepped up and provided care and life-saving measures to others in need. I want to thank Mayor Hancock and our distinguished guests for attending today. I would also like to thank our public safety partners for their continued support in caring for our city. Denver Public Safety, Denver Police, Denver Sheriffs, Denver 911, Denver Fire. Please stand so we can acknowledge your service to our city as well, please. I know that you're all incredibly busy, and I appreciate you taking the time to spend the day with us, or at least the lunchtime with us. I also wanted to make sure that I could interrupt your lunch, since I have to have mine interrupted as well. The Paramedic Division offers crucial services to the visitors and residents to this Denver metro area. As you heard moments ago, we will respond to nearly 128,000 calls this year and transport 80,000 people to local hospitals. I just want to take a moment and draw some attention and put that into perspective a bit. While we are not the largest organization in EMS in the state, we are the busiest. The number of patients we will transport is more than a sold-out crowd at Mile High Stadium. So the next time you're there, you see our paramedics, first take a moment and thank them, but then pause and think about those 72,000 fans that are there. It's pretty impressive when you put that in a whole different perspective from a number to people. At the core of who we are is excellence, professionalism, integrity, compassion. You'll hear evidence of those traits in the stories you will hear in just moments. Today, we are here to celebrate the work all of our paramedics division employees do. We are dispatchers, educators, EMTs, fleet mechanics, paramedics, vehicle support technicians, command staff, and support staff. And we are here to care for our community. The work they do and the care they provide has always been difficult, but in our current world, the challenges and stressors have multiplied. Not everyone can do this. Not everyone has the level of compassion and caring to continually to care for others. It is a calling, one of passion and a long-standing pride in our patch. They, our people, focus on the care of our patients, so we need to focus on our people to ensure their support and their mental health and physical health. As we move through the pandemic, I know each of us in this room found new stressors in our lives. Now imagine carrying that weight in addition to that of those we care for. It can be relentless. We have always given thought to the importance of mental and physical support of our employees. A decade ago, we formed the first EMS peer support team in the area. We found ourselves responding to the emotional needs of the department, and we became a catalyst for our organization's nationally recognized RISE program. We are now beginning to roll out our emotional first aid for first responders, which will provide daily check-ins and tools for both self-evaluations and resources for assistance. We have several other great programs and opportunities to continue to support the needs of our employees so they can continue to care for our community in the healthiest way possible. It is with the proceeds of this event and your support that make this possible, and we are extremely grateful for that. I would like to thank Denver Health CEO Dr. Robin Wittenstein, COO Chris Gaw, and all of our Denver Health leaders for attending today. I would also like to thank our amazing Denver Health Foundation and the Paramedic Division Awards Committee for all their hard work in making this such a great event. My sincere appreciation to Christian Anschutz, Josh Hanfling, Stephen Tolt for all your support. Thank you so much for your support. Words cannot express my gratitude for your support and the things that we are able to do to care for our people so they can care for others because of you. And most importantly, to the members of the Paramedic Division. Every day I come to work and I get to put on this uniform that I'm so very proud to wear. And it's because it represents you and the amazing things that you do for our community every day. So please stand so you all can be acknowledged. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. I'd like to welcome to the stage now and introduce Medical Director of the Denver Health Paramedic Division, Dr. Kevin McVaney. He serves as a link between pre-hospital care and the care the paramedics provide.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. So I've been asked to do one of my favorite things to do, which is to talk about our fantastic EMS system here in Denver. It's been a rough year. If you don't know why it's been a rough year, please talk to somebody who's in a white shirt, one of the paramedics around you, because you'll gain some great insights. But even with as difficult of a year as it's been, you don't have to look very hard for some things that are fantastic. I hear all the time, your paramedics are the best. Your paramedics do such a good job. We hear it from emergency physicians around. It's really unique and special what we have. It's not just our paramedics, it's the entire EMRS system. But to look for the positive thing, I'll only go back to 6 days ago, Wednesday. We had a pediatric case conference, and we brought up, for teaching reasons, I'll bring up two cases, but they're kind of amazing. One is an 8-month-old girl whose mom had some nail polish that looked like it looked like a little ice cream cone. So it looked like a wonderful thing for an 8-month-old to take. And she put it in her mouth and fell, landed right on it in exactly the nightmare that you don't want to see. She stopped breathing and suffered a cardiac arrest. Denver Fire was the first on scene, and a Denver firefighter was actually able to take a utility tool and grab onto the bottle and remove it from the little girl's mouth. She had a lot of bleeding. Our Denver paramedics found her with no pulse, started resuscitation immediately. By the time she got to Denver Health, to our pediatric emergency department, she was crying and waking up. She was admitted to the hospital. It's amazing. She's admitted to the hospital and she's discharged, or she's been discharged from the hospital, and life is normal now. This next one's even more intense. So there was a call through 911 to a mother that was in labor. Everyone was responding as is appropriate. The note started coming across that this was a miscarriage. And by the time the Denver paramedics had arrived, the mother who had just delivered was there, being brought out to the ambulance, and they were handed the tissue from the miscarriage. Our paramedic, Paramedic Tekiton, I should have mentioned all the names, I'm sorry, but realized, and I think this is because at their heart, Denver paramedics are healthcare providers. They are caregivers. And he said, something strange. And so actually took the time, instead of just saying this was a miscarriage, actually opened up, and it didn't make any sense what he saw. And it's because what he saw is an incredibly rare thing. Like, doctors like to use fancy words, so there's a fancy word for it, but it's called an uncalled birth, which means the birth happens in the entire amniotic sac and the whole thing comes out. Nothing ruptures. It's just a bag with the baby in it. And he's like, this doesn't seem right, and felt an arm inside, and actually broke it open. The amniotic fluid came out as a little tiny 2-pound baby with no breathing and no heartbeat. Instead of viewing this as a miscarriage, our paramedics decided to try to resuscitate this baby. And so they did. They started breathing. They started doing CPR. They went emergently to the hospital, got a pulse back, got the breathing back. 2-pound baby was admitted to the hospital and has now been discharged, is gaining weight, and is an otherwise normal baby for being born at 29 weeks and so underweight. So it's amazing. So this is the thing I love. Denver is a big city, and it's getting bigger. But it's still the city where we're good enough and focused enough to do the little things well. And the little things well are actually really big things, because there's 2 little girls that 2 days ago had their first Mother's Day. And that doesn't happen without all of this. So thank you to the paramedics, thank you to everyone involved in EMRS, and thank you all for being here and supporting us.
Wow. I have chills now, and we are just getting started with some of the incredible stories today. So I want to turn to the awards component of the celebration. One fantastic organization and 14 incredible individuals from the Paramedic Division and Denver Police Department will be honored with awards for their outstanding service today. We'll start with our Spirit of Philanthropy Award. So please turn your attention to the screens for a video about this award, which will then be presented to the Anschutz Foundation by Denver Health Foundation's Executive Director, Crystal Potter-Rivera.
Hi, I'm Crystal Potter-Rivera, Executive Director of the Denver Health Foundation. Our donors have an indelible impact on the health and well-being of our community. Together with our passionate supporters, we work to expand access to essential care for everyone, while also addressing the root causes of health in our community. Among our loyal and generous donors is the Anschutz Foundation.
I'm Christian Anschutz. I serve as president of the Anschutz Foundation. The Anschutz Foundation supports Denver Health because we recognize the important role that Denver Health plays in our community's health and well-being.
The Anschutz Foundation invests in upstream solutions, strengthening individuals and communities to improve the quality of lives. The Anschutz Foundation has given substantially to hundreds of nonprofit organizations in Colorado, and they've supported the Denver Health Foundation for more than a decade. Their giving has been strategic, and the resulting impact has been tremendous.
When my father started the Anschutz Foundation over 30 years ago, he did so with the goal of helping individuals and providing support for health and well-being in our city. By supporting Denver Health, we recognize that we're supporting the men and women who serve the health needs of our city, and we're grateful for their service.
Most recently, the Anschutz Foundation pledged $300,000 to cover the cost of a new ambulance for the Denver Health Paramedics fleet and challenged the Denver Health Foundation to use their gift to inspire community support for this essential Denver resource. As a result, when Denver Health adds 4 new ambulances to the paramedics fleet this year, 2 of them will be supported by Philanthropy. The board and staff of the Anschutz Foundation have a keen eye for opportunities to use philanthropy to bring impactful solutions to some of the stickiest challenges in our society, strengthening our community and improving lives. It is my great privilege to thank the Anschutz Foundation for their long-standing support of Denver Health and the Denver Health Paramedics, and to honor them with the 2022 Spirit of Philanthropy Award.
I just want to say thank you to the sponsors of the Denver Health Foundation and the Denver Health Paramedics.
I definitely want to give out thanks and appreciation to the Anschutz Foundations and all the other sponsors and supporters.
To the attendees and the foundation members. We may not know your names and we may not know your faces, but we know that you stand behind us, and sincerely, thank you.
And now we would like to invite Crystal Potter Rivera to present the award to Christian Anschutz, president of the Anschutz Foundation, and thank them for their generous philanthropic support of Denver Health Paramedics. Just make sure to pose for all the photographs over here, too. While we're taking photos to make sure we stay on time today, Denver Health provides nationally recognized EMT and paramedic training and certification programs, working through scholarships to diversify the profession. The Jack D. Gabbo Paramedic Scholarship is awarded to an emergency medical technician who's seeking to advance their career by becoming a paramedic. This year's recipient is Margot Wegan. The first time she rode along in a 911 ambulance, Margot knew she wanted to be a paramedic. She began as an EMS volunteer in her college town, averaging 80 hours a month before becoming a sergeant, where she mentored new volunteers. Before joining the Denver Health Paramedics Division, Margot simultaneously held an inter-facility transport position, an emergency room technician position in a level 1 trauma hospital, and an emergency room ambulance EMT position in a rural hospital. Margot has demonstrated outstanding clinical acumen, attention to detail, and excellent bedside manner. She is well liked by her peers, who describe her as an outstanding EMT who always treats her patients with the highest degree of dignity and respect. Congratulations, Margot. Please come to the stage to receive your award, presented by scholarship donor Dr. Harold Gabbo and Assistant Paramedic Chief Justin Harper. Congratulations again, Margot. Our next awards honor the men and women whose leaders and peers have selected them to receive special recognition for outstanding emergency medical service to our community. These awards will be presented by Chief Gary Breskovich and Deputy Chief Brent Stevenson. We start with the Legion of Merit Award, which is awarded to a member of the public or ancillary agency who performs an act of heroism in the saving or attempted saving of a life. In the pre-dawn hours of October 17, 2020, Denver police responded to a call about an overturned vehicle at 6th Avenue Parkway and Federal Boulevard. Before Denver Health Paramedics arrived on scene, Officer Bobby Limon assessed the situation and determined that the driver needed medical assistance. Without hesitation and without extensive medical training, Officer Limon applied a cat tourniquet to the young female patient's leg, preventing massive blood loss from an arterial wound. The patient was taken to the Denver Health Medical Center Emergency Department, where physicians and trauma surgeons confirmed that Officer Limon's actions saved her life. We salute Denver Police Department Officer Bobby Limon for his quick thinking and poised response with this Legion of Merit Award. Officer Limon, please come to the stage. And we have an additional honoree for the Denver Legion of Merit Award for another member of the Denver Police Department for an act of heroism and life-saving actions. And 2 Denver Health Paramedics will be awarded the Medal of Honor for their work on the same call. So we want to turn your attention once again to the screen for this incredible story.
So it was a Saturday night. It was in May. It was springtime, little drizzle rain, when I heard a call come out of a man trespassing in somebody's backyard.
The homeowner was in bed and he had one of those Ring cameras, and it alerted him on his phone that there was motion on his back porch. So they sent me and Corporal Reyes to the call, and as we walked up, I announced that we were Denver Police and asked that anybody on the patio make themselves known.
And then that's when I heard a loud bang, a big flash, and I could feel heat coming my direction. I heard Marcus scream in pain. He immediately fell to my left.
I remember Brandon returning fire over the top of me.
But I knew at this point that he got out of that area. He took off running somewhere. So from there, I looked back to Marcus. I realized this isn't a safe place. I grabbed Marcus under his shoulders and I drug him to where I could help assess his injuries. There was another officer that arrived on scene. She immediately got on the air and started relaying the information that we had. As I looked down at Marcus, I could see blood coming out from his right thigh. So I took my knife out and I immediately cut his pants right above his shin and began to rip them all the way up and cut them all the way up to his hip. As I did that, I noticed a femoral spurt coming out of his thigh. I took my tourniquet out, slid it as high up as I could. From there, I tightened it down, I cinched it, and the bleeding stopped. It was at that point when the paramedics arrived that I knew that he was gonna be okay. Working side by side with the Denver paramedics, we have a great relationship, and I know that I can trust them with any kind of situation that we're involved in. So it was a huge sigh of relief for me to have them show up on scene and be the ones to essentially take care of Marcus, my friend.
We noticed a bunch of cops driving Immersion down the freeway, and that's when we got the call for a officer-involved shooting. In the details, it said, like, you know, officer was shot, suspect is not secured, and the scene is still kind of unsafe. So they kind of generally recommend us to stage. And I remember Justin and I both were like, we're not staging. And Justin even did some really remarkable driving to get past the police barricade to get to Officer Black.
And so we ended up getting on scene. Jesse, hopped out of the passenger seat and went straight over to Officer Black, who was on the ground.
He was pale, diaphoretic. You could see a large pool of blood around his right leg, and a tourniquet already being applied. Initially had his eyes closed, which is, again, pretty scary, and then I couldn't feel a pulse. So I remember just kind of screaming his name, and he was able to open his eyes from that point. And that's when Justin showed up with the stretcher, and we were able to just kind of pick him up and throw him on the stretcher and get him into the ambulance at that point.
calls like that, we're always taught that we needed to be quick. We have to get on scene and get out of scene. The best thing that we can do for anybody that has a gunshot is to get them to the hospital as quickly as possible. So in that case, we're lucky to have Lieutenant Eric Gillis show up on scene, kind of coordinate some of the outside operational things that allowed us to get off scene and get transporting quickly to the hospital.
Can't remember the exact times, but they had close to a 1-minute scene time, which is phenomenal for a situation like this, considering how severe his injuries were.
His initial set of vital signs were not very great. So it was just a matter of getting the Denver Health ready for kind of his arrival, and then stabilizing as much as I could while Justin did a spectacular job driving to the hospital.
As we're driving to the hospital, there was other police officers and cars that would come up and pass us and block off intersections so that we could go through without having to slow down at all. And we essentially got an entire police escort all the way from the scene of the call all the way to Denver Health.
Making that decision to just go straight to the scene, not knowing whether or not the shooter was still there. He could have been lying in wait for them to injure more officers, to injure the paramedics. The fact that they made that decision, I think it speaks volumes about their character and their commitment to, taking care of anybody, but specifically taking care of, somebody that we consider a brother in public safety.
The really remarkable thing about this call is I think everything went perfect. And it's nice to be involved in that chain and know that, you did your job correctly and helped benefit a fellow first responder.
So it turns out the weapon I was shot with was a sawed-off 12-gauge shotgun from approximately 10 to 15 feet away. The shotgun wound severed my femoral arteries. I have birdshot in both of my legs. Both testicles were ruptured. Basically hit from the waistline to just above my knees with birdshot. 2.5 weeks in the hospital. During that time, I underwent 5 surgeries, 56 units of blood, probably 250 stitches and staples, and here we are.
We do this job because we truly love taking care of people. We truly love medicine and truly love being part of the team that is Denver Public Safety. It means a lot that when we run a call that is an officer that's shot, that a call that we'll probably live with and remember for the rest of our lives, to have a little token of appreciation and something that remind us that we did really good that day.
It just means more than I can even say.
Wow. Amazing. More chills here. We are so pleased to recognize Denver Police Department Corporal Brandon Reyes with the Legion of Merit Award and paramedics Justin Bell and Jesse Wright with the Medal of Honor Award for their life-saving work. Please come up and be recognized and receive your awards. And we do have Officer Marcus Black here celebrating with us today, so please recognize him as well. Thank you for your bravery, and we absolutely wish you the best with your continued recovery. If Officer Black would just wave. Our next award is the Community Service Award, which honors a paramedic division member who contributes positively to community relations. This year's peer nominations yielded 3 recipients, and so I want to read all their nominations, and then we'll invite all 3 to the stage together. Paramedics Senior Operations Support Specialist Juana Brown was selected for her selflessness and consideration in helping the Federico F. Pena Southwest COVID-19 vaccine clinic on her day off. Juana came in on a Saturday to receive her own vaccination and noticed that the clinic was experiencing some scheduling issues, so she stayed for over an hour to make sure staff members were in good shape, even though she had plans with her own children that day. The second recipient of this year's Community Service Award is paramedic Candace Noel, who has been donating her own clothing and sandwiches she has prepared to people experiencing homelessness who she encounters on the streets of Denver. With her empathetic actions and humane attitude, Candace is a shining example of Denver Health Paramedics going above and beyond to serve their community. And the third recipient of the Community Service Award is paramedic Jordan Flesner. Jordan volunteers at Broken Shovels Farm Sanctuary, a place for homeless, abused, neglected, and slaughter-bound animals. Jordan has truly embraced this weekly volunteer role, and her love for the animals she cares for is apparent with her enthusiasm for it. She is a person who truly puts all creatures in the world before herself, is always willing to help, and does so with a smile. So congratulations to Juana Brown, Candace Noel, and Jordan Flesner. Please come to the stage.
Thank you. I was hoping I'd get this one.
Quite a team there. Next, we have the Field Trainer of the Year Award, which goes to the Division Training Officer who displays exemplary integrity, professionalism, leadership, and expertise in training the next generation of Denver paramedics and paramedics who will go elsewhere. This year's recipient is consistently one of the most ethical and hardworking paramedics in the division. The medical care he gives is excellent, and he studies diligently both on and off shift, takes the time to cultivate his students, and is the kind of partner who can make any call easier. His thorough and attentive care of patients is exemplary. To add to all of this, he is humble and approachable. We honored paramedic Jesse Wright with the Medal of Honor just a few moments ago, but I'd like to invite him up for a second time to accept the award as Field Trainer of the Year. Congratulations, Jesse. Should have done those in a row, sorry. Next, we have the Distinguished Service Cross. It's awarded to a Denver Health Paramedic Division member who performs an act of heroism involving a novel, unusual, or sudden situation of a serious and urgent nature that demands immediate action. The act demonstrates utilization of exceptional tactics, good judgment, zeal, or ingenuity over and above what is normally demanded and expected. Denver 7 will actually be running a story about this award and this incident tonight at 6 p.m., but we want to give you a little preview here if you turn your attention to the screens.
Denver 911, what is the address of your emergency?
My name is Julia Drawn, and I've been a Denver Health Paramedic since 2015.
I'm Laura Game. I've been a paramedic with Denver Health for 6 months now. We had been dispatched to a call for a female in her late 20s complaining of abdominal pain.
When we arrived, we were met by the fire department as well as the patient and a male party that was escorting her. I received to the side information from them that they were concerned about the way he was interacting with her in their presence. He had given them a few red flags, primarily that he was aggressive and domineering, and that while she was answering subjective questions about how she felt, he would interrupt her and tell her that that was incorrect. Yeah, I think pretty quickly we both realized that we needed to separate the two, and so Laura took the patient to the ambulance initially, while I hung back with him. I was starting some paperwork and keeping an eye on him through the window. At one point he did try to charge the ambulance and jump into the front passenger seat, and I was able to lock him out.
I was concerned when she wasn't able to give me a full story as to what was going on.
At the end of the call, I do very specifically remember Laura asking me if she was too old to be trafficked. So that was definitely on the radar.
Once we arrived to St. Joe's, I ended up giving the handoff report to one of the nurses. I also phrased it as, I'm not necessarily concerned about her abdominal pain, but more of, there's some kind of social situation going on here that I can't tell you exactly what's going on, but something's concerning.
The night of this case, I was working an overnight shift in the emergency department at St. Joe's. So the paramedics brought in this young woman. She wasn't communicating very much with them. She wasn't communicating very much with me, but they were very concerned about her. The paramedics were adamant that this was a serious concern. This wasn't just a mild concern. They were very worried that if this patient went back to the same situation that she had brought in, that could be, seriously harmful for her. After the paramedics left, I was left with this patient who really wasn't very interested in communicating with me. It was a little unclear to me whether there was truly an underlying medical issue, whether this was something psychosocial or kind of what was going on from a purely medical standpoint. The fact that the paramedics had told me that they thought that she was in an unsafe situation and the thought that she might be exploited really helped give me context for that. I did actually end up speaking to the man that she was with when she was brought in. He was very adamant that she be discharged back to him. And his insistence that we release her, coupled with the paramedics report, really made me concerned that that was not going to be safe for her. The social workers, I think, ended up contacting police out of concern for her safety. We depend so much on our paramedic colleagues. They give us critical information, critical context. We work with them every day, and we really value their work. And when I see this kind of exceptional work, just that intuition, the initial suspicion, the intuition, following up, communicating it well, documenting it all clearly, that's just outstanding work. I am so happy that they are being recognized because they did awesome work that night, and I think everybody should know about it. And I felt really proud of my paramedic partners and really grateful for their hard work. It was a lovely moment in just reinforcing the good that we can do when we work together.
I'm pleased now to recognize Paramedic Field Training Officer Julia Drawn and Paramedic Laura Game with the Distinguished Service Cross Award. Please come to the stage. Can't wait to see the story at 6 tonight. That will be a good one. Every organization has one employee who is the model for his or her peers, and at the Denver Health Paramedic Division, the Employee of the Year is often found going above and beyond the regular tasks and seen taking them on with fervor and seeing them through to completion. This year's honoree is Dustin Kelty, who was nominated by 8 of his peers in his role as a vehicle support technician. He was recently promoted to emergency medical technician. Dustin exemplifies the dedication and mission of the Denver Health Paramedic Division. He's an extraordinary friend, always addresses people by name, and is interested in the lives and well-being of his coworkers. So we're pleased to recognize Dustin Kelty with the Employee of the Year Award. Dustin, if you would come to the stage. Big one. Very nice. Our next award is the Paramedicine Award, which honors a division paramedic who provides consistent, outstanding patient care, acts as a role model, demonstrates leadership, has a vast knowledge base, and a strong commitment to education, as well as sound technical skill and clinical acumen. Paramedic Imani Thomas embodies the core pillars of the Denver Health Paramedic Division mission. She is always improving herself and her skills so she can better serve patients. She consistently makes patients feel like family, providing a comfortable experience for them, and always advocates on their behalf. Imani goes out of her way to ensure that her patients and their families have all the information they need to make the best medical decisions. Her peers see her as a role model for her commitment to clinical excellence in EMS. Whether she's interacting with a patient experiencing mental health issues or working with charge nurses regarding a patient's condition, Paramedic Thomas is always friendly, professional, and a joy to work with. We're pleased to recognize Paramedic Imani Thomas with the Paramedicine Award. If you would come to the stage. All right, our final award is the Medal of Valor. This award goes to a member of the Paramedic Division for an act in the face of great danger, wherein valor, courage, and bravery are demonstrated over and above that normally demanded and expected. The act must be performed in the presence of great danger or at great personal risk, and by its nature involves saving a human life. And please turn your attention to the screens one last time today for this award presentation.
My partner and I, we received a call for a teenager that was hanging over the edge of this parking structure.
We were there, first people on scene. We circled around and found a patient standing on the southwest corner of the parking structure on a ledge, not like behind the retaining wall, but on it with a approximately 45, 50-foot fall looking ahead of him.
As I was pulling up, I see everyone looking up. I guess one of those unnerving feelings that it's not one of those calls where they're saying they're going to do something and they haven't taken substantial steps. And obviously, since everyone was looking up, this young man had taken the steps to self-harm.
Patient's just very not able to be talked down. Don't talk to me, don't come up, I'm going to jump, I'm going to do this, I've had enough of this. Just having very forceful body language and making very forceful demands that gave off the impression that he was going to jump sooner rather than later.
I realized that I needed to get up there as quickly as possible. If I just wait for PD, I don't know what's going to happen in these next few minutes. I don't know how far out they are. I just had to make that decision. Like, I can help this person right now, or I can watch him jump. Alex was speaking to him from the ground. He was eventually distracted enough so that I could get around into the alley. Once Alex had him distracted, I realized that there was a stairwell that was exposed. That's when I went up.
And in that time, I lost track of Matthew. And the next time I saw him, he was behind the patient, kind of went up and bear hugged him and dragged him off of the top of the ledge. And I dropped everything I was doing and sprinted up the stairs.
Grabbed him as hard as I could, at his waist, and was able to take him down, hold him there until police got up there and my partner arrived to assist with the rest of it. It was a little bit of a fight to get him down because he was a little larger than me, but I was eventually successful with it. Alex was up there pretty quickly, and then the police came up pretty quickly after that as well. With mental health patients, you have to take the seriousness of their claims that they want to end their lives. When you go into a situation like this, you have to commit 100%, if not more. You don't know what lengths they're willing to go to hurt themselves. They will most likely do anything to get to that point. So you're not only fighting for this person's life, but you're also fighting for your own life.
For him to see that someone's on the ledge, for him to risk his own safety and go to the ledge, it's amazing. He's a hero, he saved him.
And I thought he just went above and beyond the definition of what we do on a normal average call.
We are so pleased to recognize paramedic Matthew Ludke with the Medal of Valor for his incredible bravery and life-saving actions. Please come to the stage to accept your award. So many incredible stories today, amazing. And thank you to all our honorees today. Before we close out the celebration, I want to bring up the chairman of the board of the Denver Health Foundation, Josh Hampfling, to say a few words and talk to you about the Anschutz Foundation's Ambulance Challenge.
Hi, all. I am not Josh Hampfling today or any day, but he had to step away. The legislature is still in session for a hot minute, and he had obligations that took him away. I know this is one of his favorite events, and he would love to be in front of you talking with you, but it's also my great honor to be here. I'm Crystal Potter Rivera. I'm executive director of Denver Health Foundation. This is also one of my favorite events because we do have such an opportunity to recognize and to channel the recognition of our community for our Denver Health paramedics who are there to save your life. And as simple as that, as you can see in any of the videos or the presentations that were made today, they're here for our community, and it means the world to them to be able to do that, and it means the world to us to be able to support them with your help. So thank you for being here today. Josh did give me his notes, and they are highlighted and underlined very helpfully, that I might ask you for your support in another fashion today. You heard in our first video that the Anschutz Foundation very generously gave us $300,000 for the purchase of a new ambulance. They challenged us to reach out to the community for an additional $300,000 to allow 2 new ambulances to be brought onto the fleet in support of the community and in support of our paramedics who do the work there. We would like to ask you today to help bridge us that last little bit of the way. We're more than 80% of the way toward the goal. A lot of that thanks goes to Colin and Jessica Barkley, who have stepped out of their way to make sure that we have the support of their family and friends based on experience that they've had, life-saving rescue of the Paramedics Division. Reaching our $600,000 goal will allow us, by the numbers, will allow the paramedics to accommodate an additional 35,000 patient contacts and 25,000 patient transports to Denver area hospitals over the ambulance's 6-year operational lifetime. Like Robin Wittenstein, I hope that that is never you on the receiving end of that care, but if it is, you'll be very grateful to see the folks arrive and arrive well-equipped and well-supported. So if you notice on your table, there are envelopes where you can make a donation, fill that out and help us match this grant. You can also go to any day of the year. You can go to denverhealthfoundation.org and make a donation online. The proceeds today, though, from today's event in general, will support the work and the health of the paramedics and allow them to keep doing what they do. So please take a moment, fill those out for us. Thank you so much for that, and thank you for your support today.
Thank you, Crystal. And wow, I will never think of the stories we report on some mornings the same again, picturing you heroes out there doing just your jobs. And so it really touched me to hear these stories today. I want to thank you for inviting me to be here. Thank you to the Anschutz Foundation, of course, every one of you who gives to the Denver Health Foundation today. As you can tell, we are surrounded by people who are humble, who go about their jobs with quiet dignity, humility, care, saving lives without asking for anything in return. And we are so lucky to have them in the ranks of the Denver Health Paramedic Division. So to all of our paramedics and first responders here today, a big thank you for their service, everyone. And thank all of you for coming and supporting them today. Now, if you would please stand, we will close out the ceremony with the Denver Police Department Honor Guard retiring our colors.
in. Order. Ready? Place. Prepare to retreat. Colors. Retreat. Mark time. March. Left there. March. Forward. March.
Thank you again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and one last round of applause for our heroes.
Turn back the hand of time.